I can't take it anymore. It is Easter, guys, and I don't know what's going on. Two Power Four commitments. We got an All American coming in to visit. Tracing Eagle staff is on campus, and I'm about to Baja Blast off into the sun.
You are Locked On West Virginia, your daily podcast on the West Virginia Mountaineers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, guys? Welcome back in. My name is Mountaineer Paul. I am your host, and this is Locked On West Virginia. Mascot is in tow today. She decided to jump up and join me. Let's see if we can aggravate her. For those of you listening on podcast, my cat has jumped up on the chair behind me as we begin. So, sorry for being late, guys. I was checking on a couple things, coming in late, coming in hot, getting some different things going. So we've got people flying in literally right now as South Dakota, and they're All-American linebacker. Gary Bryant is literally flying into Morgantown as we speak. I said All-American. Would be an absolute gem of an ad. Obviously, USC is on his list. He's got a ton of places after him. But we got to start where the beginning is, and West Virginia adds two Power Four commitments today. I don't want to hear it, because if they're from a lower level and they have a ton of production, people will complain because they're from a lower level. If they're a Power Four and they have some production or not a ton of production, nobody's happy. But here's what I can tell you. These are two very good ads. Both will have a chance to play this year. Now, I think, I have them rated on an impact scale. We're going to talk about that on this episode. Not the only thing we're going to talk about. We're obviously going to talk about, I feel like I didn't do a good enough breakdown of Grayson Barnes, the tight end. So I'm going to break him down. I also have Gary Bryant's breakdown here, as I've spent most of the day on this. So hopefully you like it. Also going to do another breakdown on Marcus Millender, Smurf Millender, also Trayson Eagle staff, a little bit of an update on him. So let's roll with this, guys. We'll get all the Eagle staff stuff will be somewhere around segment 2, guys. I know you guys are all chomping at the bit, but let's just be patient, because at the end of the day, man, I don't think anything's going to happen right away. Quit. I feel like she's about to do something crazy here. So here's what we're going to do. I am going to break down these two Power Four players. I think both of them are really good, have a chance to be very good for West Virginia. And at the end of the day, guys, I think we're going to be really fantastic ads. Happy Easter, by the way, to those of you who celebrate the holiday. To those of you that don't, I hope you're having a great day anyways. Whether you believe that Jesus rose or you don't, you're welcome here either way, whether you're a believer or you don't believe. So I would encourage you to. So is it showing that? Hopefully it is. It's not telling me. Can you guys see that screen right there, just by chance? Sorry, it's I don't know what happened there. Apologies to anybody that's looking there. Just let me know if you can see the screen. So, okay, thank you. It's telling me you can't see it. So that's why I was like freaking out there. So obviously this is the list of transfers for West Virginia, which is fine. I think that's all well, good, and dandy. If that's where you're wanting, to start, is with the transfer list, but I'm going to start with Eddie Kelly Jr. Look, he was a 3-star prospect coming out in 2022. And for me, I think, he's one of those guys that just had to grow into his body. That's just what it is, guys. He had to grow into his body, which is fine. I can understand why that is. And he was rated a 3-star prospect. So number 48 weak side defensive end, number 70 overall in Florida. Rivals, I noted on Rivals that they said he had an explosive first step and high motor coming out, and they praised his ability to blow up plays in the backfield. Scouts loved his knack for shedding defenders and blockers with quick hands. Huddle on his film kind of highlighted some of his pass rush dominance at the time, And in 2021, he was able to rack up 3 sacks as a projected Power 5 rotational defensive end. 6'4", 240 pounds in high school. He committed to USF over Florida, Florida State, Georgia Tech, Kentucky, Mississippi State. There was a lot there that I think he was looking into from what I was able to research, and USF was just better for him at the time based on his size and different things like that. So that's cool. Glad he did that. But, at the end of the day, he progressed quickly. He had a 4.6 40-yard dash, guys. 4.6. So that was after South Florida. So he was, I was looking into some articles, and there were a lot of people saying he was a sleeper with SEC upside. But he chose Georgia Tech next. So he went to Georgia Tech, and that's when he had a breakout year. 38 tackles, 5 tackles for loss, a couple sacks, a couple pass deflections. And ACC analysts at the time praised his bend off the edge and versatility to play or slide inside on passing downs. And his 270-pound frame was, a big reason for that, in my opinion. You get to the end of the Georgia Tech run, then Missouri is next, right? So he transfers to Missouri for a shot to play in the SEC, which, you don't always get. Played in 12 games as a rotational defensive end, tallying 20 tackles, 1 sack, 2 pass deflections last year, guys. They called him a versatile tweener in the SEC, where he could play multiple spots, but he was stuck behind really good edge players, guys. Johnny Walker Jr., who was obviously a really good player there, and look, they have really good edge rushers there in Missouri. So he just wasn't going to be their number one option. He was going to be rotational. He was going to play. But if he wanted to break out, he needed to go somewhere else. So why West Virginia? Well, we need help on the defensive line, and he's more of a 3-down, in my opinion, guy. A guy that's not an elite pass rusher, but can rush the pass, can also hold up well against the run and set the edge. So that's what he's going to do. He's probably going to start opposite of, there's a few candidates that it's probably going to be him and Jamori Robinson are going to play very similar spots. It really depends on which way West Virginia goes with it, obviously. But I think that's one of the spots he can end up at. There are a bunch. So this is a good pickup for West Virginia, a guy that could start for West Virginia, absolutely. And a guy that, I think anyways, is going to make a big impact at some point. So be excited about this pickup, guys, because it could have been worse, in my opinion, as far as pickups go. You can always have, the quote unquote, the LJ Turners, a guy like this who's going to come in. Look at this. I mean, when else do you ever see this? Games 0. It's incredible. This guy was here for literally 2 months. Here's another guy. Games 0. Transferred in, transferred out. Game 0. Here's another guy. Games 0. Obena Amuka, here for years. Never played in the game. Maybe he got in on a game. Dom Collins, 1 game. It's just wild, man. This is not going to be that, right? This is a guy that's going to be along the lines of he's going to play in a bunch of games. 6'5", 277 pounds. Here he is. So it's updated right there. So a big pickup for West Virginia. Absolutely, guys. So I'm happy about it. But I'm a little happier about the next one, in my opinion. And we're talking about none other than Christian Hamilton. Now, not a lot to say about him. Oh, by the way, on my impact scale, I've got 38 out of 50 for Eddie Kelly, and it could go higher. So, I've got him. So my reasoning is his athletic tools and production at Georgia Tech show that he has potentially some star potential, but his Missouri role and the fact that he's transferred 3 times raises a couple flags for me. He's a high-risk, high-reward pickup, and the meter reflects his boomer bust vibe, in my opinion. And if Coach Rod can unlock his skills, or whoever's coaching him, Coach Green, he could be all Big 12. If not, he's rotational, guys. That's it. So I think he's a hungry player with a chip on his shoulder. Christian Hamilton, obviously, different story. He was 4 stars coming out of high school. Rivals rated him at 3 stars. number 22 wide receiver in the country, noted for his crisp route running skills, soft hands, noted for his knack of finding the soft zone guys. He's 6 feet, 185 pounds. So he's suited for the slot, right? 4.55 40-yard dash. So that's not great coming out of high school. And I was, I don't want to say shocked to hear it, but I was surprised to hear it because on film, there's a couple times when he gets deeply behind people. Sometimes that's just how it goes, I guess. Guys are football fast and they can be deceiving on the field. Now, my research could be wrong. Let's also, consider that, which has only ever happened, never, but it might be, maybe this is the time. So I looked at him on film and thought he was faster than 4.55. I will start there, guys. So maybe he's gotten faster. That was in high school. Maybe it was a bad day. There's several reasons. I mean, you shave not a little under 0.5 of a second off of there, and you're at 4.4. I don't even know what that would be. Maybe I guess 0.5 is it technically what that would be. So you would be at 4.49-ish. So, it's not that huge of a difference, but on the football field, when you're talking about a step or two, it is. He made a lot of contested catches. He had multiple 50-yard plus touchdowns in high school. So he's proven more at that point, at least, to be more than a possession receiver. And he chose North Carolina over NC State, Duke, Wake Forest, all the Carolina teams. And as a freshman, he only played in 4 games. He caught 2 passes for 18 yards. As a redshirt freshman, he played in 10 games. As a rotational slot guy, had 14 catches for 162 yards and a touchdown. Averaged over 10 yards a catch at 11.6. He was also good at kick return. Analysts could praise his polish from what I could see, but his lack of speed has been noted as a deep threat. So he has struggled to play against physical ACC corners because he's 6 feet, 70 pounds, 185 pounds. So, and you see, and UNC has a loaded receiver room with Nate McCollum and J.J. Jones. So, and maybe they're not even there anymore. I don't know, but when he was there. So that kind of capped his targets, right? And that kind of led to some underuse for him. So I think he entered the portal seeking a slot-friendly offense. West Virginia is that. He's going to have a chance to compete with Rodney Gallagher and company there and Man Singleton. So we'll see what happens with him, guys. I think he's going to be a kick returner for us. I think he'll specialize there. And one thing he does, man, is he bobs and weaves in and out of traffic like nobody's business. So I think that's a big deal. I think that could potentially be what he does well here, guys, because he's a polished route runner. So he's able to cut in and out like nobody's business, like I said. So, I've got him rated at a 36 out of 50. And here's what I have written. He's got polished routes and special teams value gives him a high floor. But I think his North Carolina numbers were modest due to opportunity, not talent, in my opinion. I think he has talent. It's just he's not the fastest guy. That's fine. You don't have to be 4.55 ain't slow. Ain't one of us in the chat that can run it. So, I mean, it's definitely D1. You can be a D1 receiver at 4.5. Absolutely, you can. Is he set for a 50 catch season? I don't know about that. But I think what I've done here with the 36 is, my meter has balanced the reliability with the need to prove he's a proven go-to guy. So, and he could be a technician that's just ready to pop. We'll see. So let's go to break really quick, guys. On the other side of break, what we'll do is we'll talk about Grayson Barnes, and we'll talk some hoops because I know that's what you're here for. 2 transfers coming in. We got the South Dakota guy coming in as well. It's an All-American. It's crazy that nobody wants to hear about him, but I get it. Everybody's all stoked over Trace Engle staff and company, and I get that. So we'll talk about it all in this episode of Locked On West Virginia. Stick around and find out. And this episode of Locked On West Virginia is going to be brought to you by none other than, of course, we're talking about Supply House. Guys, did you know at Supply House, get the supplies you need from the site made for the skilled trades, Supply House. Whether you're plumbing, HVAC, or electrical, Supply House is a reliable way to order products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Plus, with a complete inventory of 200,000 parts from 400 top brands, you'll find exactly what you need delivered fast from coast to coast. If you need help with an order, Supply House offers expert support, industry-leading service, so you'll always talk to a real person. And for trade pros looking for an edge, their free Trade Master program offers exclusive perks like dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Thousands of skilled professionals are talking and taking advantage now. It's your turn. Join the Trade Master program today at supplyhouse.com/DM. Start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. Plus, you can use promo code S-5, S-H-5 for 5% off that order. Guys, go to supplyhouse.com and check it all out today. It's segment 2. Let's crack a Baja Blast do at that. Somebody suggested I try them. I've tried them at Taco Bell before. Oh, that was a good drink. But I hadn't tried them in a bottle. I really like it. It's good flavor. I'd liked it before, but the first time I ever tried it, I thought it tasted like Listerine. I don't know. It doesn't taste like that anymore. It's much better. Okay, so let's roll on here as we talk a little bit more about football. We'll give you an Eagle Staff update, or do you guys want the Eagle Staff update first? I'll go ahead and give you the Eagle Staff update, okay? So Eagle Staff's still on campus. At least he might be done with the visit now. The update I got was, hey, look, I'm on visit till later today, and no decision is going to be made before that. So take that for what you will, guys. I would say that with these commitments rolling out in football, either he's going to make a commitment late tonight, or he's going to make it tomorrow, or he's going somewhere else on a visit. He has not told me that, and look, like I said, guys, doesn't mean he's not committing. I don't want anybody to get all gloom and doom, but remember the weather yesterday, they've had it crazy there. It probably, I would imagine anyways, kind of screwed things up for them at the beginning. So we'll see. I think, because tomorrow, guys, Millender comes on campus Monday. So he's not, they're giving these guys the star treatment one-on-one. I would imagine that Trace Eaglestaff is either gone, or unless maybe he wants to meet his new teammate. If they know things we don't, maybe that's possible. But I still say 95% chance that he commits. This is all formality. Most people have said that they don't want to look like they were tampering. Guys, everybody's doing it. Literally everybody is calling guys on teams through agents to check if they're secure or not. You can't stay ahead if you don't. I'm sorry. There's no rule really against it right now. It's not like the old days where, people had to really be hush-hush about it. People can openly do it now. You see it every day on X, on other social media platforms where people, coaches openly follow other guys that are committed. So thanks, Raven. Yeah, only 60 likes, and actually more than that. We have over close to 600 people if you count the other platforms. But yeah, 200 on YouTube. So if you guys get that like button, please subscribe if you're new around here, and also share the video out. I would very much appreciate that for sure as we roll on here. So, Eagle Staff is interesting, and I'll do a quicker breakdown on him. Let me get to Grayson really quick because I didn't do a big one on him yesterday, and I felt guilty because I think Grayson, he really deserves better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share screen with you guys. I feel like you deserve this, and I'm going to give it to you. So let me share screen with you guys, and I'll just show you what his deny conversation looked like. I asked him a couple questions about West Virginia. Okay, so what's this? Oh, yeah, there's Ross Hodge with Chance Moore. So let me see here if I can find it. I probably should have just looked. There it is. Yep, there it is. Okay. Grayson Barnes. So I asked him 3 questions. Can you guys see this, by the way? Yeah, you can. It's over here on the right, but you can see it, I guess. Good enough. Okay, so I asked him 3 questions. Who did your recruitment come down to? What made WV stand out? And how about those facilities? His answers were West Virginia definitely recruited me as hard as soon as they saw I hit the portal, but it mainly came down to WVU in Illinois was contacting me along with USC and Arizona the most. WVU was my first and only visit, but I love the outdoors and the mountains, so that was an immediate standout. But along with the mountains, the staff was super friendly and easy to talk with, not to mention the offense that will feature my skill set. Those facilities took me away. The weight room, the training room, the dining room, and the meeting rooms were all amazing, and the technology they use, weight room uses, easily shows you how much they care about the health of players and to get them ready to play in the fall. Excellent answers, like 10 out of 10 answers, right? In my opinion. So I came away impressed with him. And then I went and looked up some of his interviews. Well, they were like, on senior day, like different things where they interview these players. He's an older guy. And I think that's why he's able to appreciate 5 years into his career those facilities and how they care about player health. A kid that's 19 that never gets nicked up doesn't care, right? So let's break his game down, guys. This is the starting tight end for West Virginia next year. Go ahead and check that box right now. This is the starting tight end. When they run out for the opening game, this is going to be the starting tight end for the West Virginia Mountaineers. Bank it. This kid can play. And it's not even so much as like he's okay. Like, no, he's really good. Like, he's better, in my opinion. I think he's got a chance to be better than Cole Taylor. Now, Cole Taylor was a different animal. He was 6'7", bigger wingspan. He could run a little bit, straight line speed. This guy's a different animal. This is basically a slot guy that's 6'5", 250 pounds. And he runs such beautiful routes. He was a 3-star prospect in 2021, which is a long time ago now, right? Number 42 tight end in the country, number 18 in the state of Illinois. But he was 6'5", 225 with soft hands coming out of high school, I've noted from some of the 247 stuff, rival stuff, and huddle stuff that I looked through when researching him. Red zone dominance, I have written really bold here. And in the red zone in high school, he was the guy because of his high school background, which gave him some elite body control guys on his leaping ability. Rivals projected him as a joker tight end, I noted, who could flex wide or play in line, citing this is quotes I have written from Rivals. Mismatch potential against linebackers and blocking does need work. My huddle film study showed him mossing defenders, guys, making one-handed grabs. So I can see why he was projected as a pass-catching tight end with blocking upside if he added weight. After all, he is 6'5". He did commit to Northern Illinois over Ball State, Western Michigan, and Illinois State. And I used tight end usage and proximity to home were the major draws from the notes that I took on interviews that he had. 21 to 22, he redshirted in 2021, then played in 5 games. 2022, 3 catches for 28 yards. He focused on adding mass, I noted in some interviews that he did, bulking up to 235 pounds, still learning the system. In 2023, he emerged as a rotational tight end playing in 12 games, where he caught 18 passes for 204 yards and 2 touchdowns. It was on from there. He showed growth as a run blocker as well. And then this past year in 2024, everybody saw it coming. All camp long, he dominated people. He broke out as an NIU's primary tight end, playing in 12 games. He recorded 31 catches for 338 yards and 4 touchdowns, averaged 11 yards per catch. He had a 60-yard catch in a game. He had a career-long I don't know who that was against. His viral moment obviously came in the famous Idaho Potatoes Bowl, where he made a one-handed touchdown catch in overtime versus Fresno State, which gave them the 28-20 win. It blew up on X. It was a top 10 play on ESPN. He had 6 catches for 57 yards and 2 touchdowns that day. Really clutch, man. And MAC analysts call him a matchup nightmare for his soft hands, improved blocking, and he's a 3-down player. No rotational. He's the guy. And he has some NFL potential, guys. He does. They just didn't feature him a lot. Like if you look at how many times he was throwing the ball, he got that a lot of production out of that. Why West Virginia? Well, West Virginia needs a tight end after losing Cole Taylor, obviously. And his pass catching fits Rodriguez spread offense. His viral catch definitely made him probably a little bit more of a hot commodity, probably raised his profile a little bit. And he's projected as a starting tight end, in my opinion. He's got potential to be a real red zone target for West Virginia. I would say he'll be into that 40 to 50 catch range. That's my opinion. I really like this player, guys. He's a freak of nature. When you look at him run on tape, I'm surprised he doesn't have more production. I have his transfer meter impact at 46 out of 50. I think he's the most proven, steady production that we brought in outside of Cam, maybe. That viral moment, everybody wants to point to it, but he does that on tape over and over again. He makes incredibly hard catches. He's got extremely soft hands, so his size, hands, and blocking make him a plug-and-play starter in the Big 12 easily. And I think the meter reflects his immediate impact, and he's going to be a fan favorite as well because he's going to be a high-octane player that's clutch based on that overtime catch, one-handed. Come on. And I think he's going to be ready to ignite Morgantown. Hopefully you enjoyed that, guys. We go to break really quick. On the other end, let's talk a little bit more about these basketball peeps, and we'll break down the South Dakota transfer coming in because he's probably a 50 out of 50, spoiler alert, on the scale. We'll talk about it next. And this episode of Locked On West Virginia is going to be brought to you by Game Time, y'all. That's right. We talk about Game Time. There's nothing like the atmosphere of the NBA playoffs. Every bucket, every defensive stop, every moment feels huge, guys. And it's electric in the arena, kind of like the Coliseum, right? With Game Time, you can be part of it without the stress of last-minute ticket hunting. Game Time makes it fast and easy to get playoff tickets, even when demand is high. Prices on the app usually go down as the tip-off gets closer, and their last-minute deals can save up to 60%. Here's why I use Game Time, guys. You can get last-minute deals. You can save up to 60% off buying last-minute tickets for sports, concert, comedy, theaters, etc. The all-in pricing feature is something you should definitely toggle on because it means no surprise fees at checkout, and what you see is what you get, right? And that's what you want. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app. Create an account and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply, but if you create the account, redeem the code LOCKEDONCOLLEGE for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. You can get last-minute tickets, lowest prices, guaranteed, and ask yourself the question of questions. What time is it? It's game time. As we move through, guys, into segment 3, thank you guys for joining on Easter Sunday. Hopefully your Easter Sunday is going enjoyable. Yes, the baseball team is crushing it, Ray. Just to be 100% honest, I am only to catch 20 or 30 minutes of the games every single game, and I catch the rest up through highlights because I literally spend 10 hours a day trying to keep up with recruiting right now. Like it's a full-time job. I have people that help me, but they have lives too. So a lot of times, like on Sunday, it's Easter Sunday, and I have a lot to catch up on. We've got 3-4 people on campus on, coming and going. We've got, some of the biggest transfers we may ever get coming in, within the last couple of years anyway. I mean, if you'd have told me we would add a piece that would rival Tucker DeVries this year, I'd have said, you're crazy. You're nuts. And we're not going to get that kind of player. And here we are on the verge of signing a guy like Eaglestaff that literally is a Tucker DeVries clone in a lot of ways on offense, especially. So, for me, it's like there can't be any let up. What do we do, Raven? Tell them in the chat what we do here. 7 days a week. That's what we do here. That's because we have to outwork everybody. If not, we'll be left in the dust. So on Sunday, we give reverence to God and we give reverence to the fact that he's risen, but also I have to keep working, guys. So hopefully you can respect that, because at the end of the day, ain't nobody going to give it to me. There are people that have it out for me. There are definitely people that enjoy bashing me. I got screenshots yesterday. There's a group chat of 9 people. Some are in the media that enjoy trying to get reactions out of me. They share screenshots with each other. Like, if I reply to a comment that's, if I'm arguing with somebody, and they get a real kick out of it. So, at the end of the day, I got to learn from it. I got to quit doing it. I get it. But, that's how I know there are people out there that literally hate me for almost, I don't even know why, except for that I'm just unapologetically myself and who I am. And I guess maybe they don't agree with some of my tactics on how I contact players. Either way, guys, I don't give a shit. Like, I'm at the point to where I just have to just keep doing what I'm doing and working 7 days a week because they can't keep up with that, so that's just the way I have to do it. And if I have to go more than every day, I will. I'll do it multiple times a day if I have to. I will completely dedicate my life. I will. So anyway, let's move on. As we talk about South Dakota transfer, because this is a big one, guys. We probably could have led the show off with it. The fact that he's coming in is a big deal. So let's talk about him because, I wasn't sure if West Virginia was going to get him in for a visit or not. I know he'd said he was going to coming out of high school. He was nothing, guys. I mean, he was a 2-star player. He was a number 28 linebacker in the state of Maryland. So, that's great, but I mean, you're not going to be, that's your 124th national at your position. Well, there's not many Power 4 schools that want the 124 national guy, right? So he did have sideline to sideline speed, but he was 6 foot, 220, 215 pounds coming out. So he was ideal for an FCS Mike linebacker, right? He had physicality, and look, if you look at his high school tape, it's there. You can tell, like, had somebody given him a chance, he would have been a starter by his sophomore year or junior year somewhere. He just had to develop into that. And that's what FCS is great for. He committed to South Dakota over FCS offers from Morgan State, Delaware State, South Dakota's MVFC pedigree and defensive scheme were draws, the conference that they're in. At South Dakota, he played in 7 games his freshman year. But he got an injury, I noted in research, and so he saw some special team snaps. He had 8 tackles, but he did show some promise in some of the – it's really hard to find notes on SCS guys. But they're out there. If you look hard enough, you just have to go to the school website sometimes or wherever you got to go. His sophomore year, he had a breakout year starting at Mike linebacker. He played in 14 games. He led South Dakota with 103 tackles, 37 solo, 4 tackles for loss, 2 interceptions, a forced fumble, a fumble recovery, multiple tip passes, and he earned second team all-conference honors and was named the Conference Player of the Week versus Northern Iowa on October 14th. So versus Northern Iowa, he had 11 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, an interception. He shut down a late drive. And scouts say he's a crucial replacement for the All-American Brock Morgensen. Well, he was obviously – that's what he turned into because – he's got a workman-like focus is what I quoted his coach Bob Nielsen. And that exactly aligns with what Coach Rod and them in love about players, right? He can execute at a high level, and analysts lauded his tackling proficiency. He does have an 84.5 Pro Football Focus tackling grade. That's that's past elite. That's extremely good, guys. He's got athleticism, right? He's got some athleticism, big plays, big moments, and he's a tackling machine. Obviously, FBS upside is there. USC, Cal, West Virginia, Syracuse. So that's who's looking at him, guys. We'll see what happens, but I think he projects as a starting Mike linebacker. I do. I love Reed Carrigo. I love those guys. I think he comes in and at least makes it hard on them. Chase Wilson on the outside. This guy on the inside would be pretty good. And I've got his transfer meter impact at a 45 out of 50 if he does indeed come to West Virginia. 103 tackles, clutch plays, make him a proven star, guys. And I think he's ready for an FCS to FBS jump. It is a little bit of a risk, and so, it may not be a smooth transition, but I think the meter here reflects his high floor and potential to be West Virginia's defensive anchor. So he's a physical playmaking leader that I think could come in and dominate. Hopefully you enjoyed that, guys. As I said, Tackling machine, right? Last but not least, guys, as we're deep into this, we're way past time to go, but it's Sunday, it's Easter. We're gonna keep going, baby. But can I get an extra drink of dew? Is that all right from you guys as we approach 700 people in here? Can I have a drink of dew, Ski? That's all I want. That's pretty good. I'll take it. I'll take it every day. So, all right. Let me fix my seat real quick. My ass was sliding off there. I'm a big guy, guys. I'm a 380. Listen, if she ain't 380, she ain't my lady. Well, I'm 380, and that don't apply to me. All right. So don't get no crazy ideas, Dylan. I see you in the chat looking at me. All right, so let's roll through as we talk about Marcus Millender, guys. I've got a breakdown on him. I got a breakdown on Eagle staff. Just for those of you, and this is my transfer meter for both. So, I just want to do something quick for this last segment on these guys. Trayson Eagle staff, and Marcus Millender are both extremely good players. Now, I will say this. If West Virginia gets Eagle staff, Millender to go along with Huff, I've said this before a couple times, I'm going to start to worry about the defense that Hodge has been known for. Maybe it's a shift in philosophy because, like I said, at North Texas, you're kind of pigeonholed into a certain type of recruiting, right? You got to recruit a certain type of player to succeed there. And you can always recruit long and lanky guys that you can add 10 or 15 pounds to and tell them to play tough defense and then go out and find a couple scoring guards, or whatever. Or maybe you pay 100 or 150, 200,000 to a guy at D2 that nobody knows about yet that you think is going to be pretty good. Or you get an Atten Wright to transfer over from Drake, right? Like they did last year, that averaged, 12 points a game at Drake or whatever it was. He comes in and he's your best scorer, right? That's what they did. Well, now what they're able to do is they're able to scale that up. They're able to get better athletes. They're able to get better talent. And it's not, I don't think it's too far of a shock to say, sure, they're going to try and play tough defense, but also sounds to me like he realizes at North Dakota that they didn't score the ball a lot. And he says, you know what? I'm going to go grab guys that can shoot it like hell from three. So far, everybody they've added and everybody they're looking at shoots it into the They got one guy that shoots under 40% from three. That's a guard. So, Lorient is in the mid-30s, I think. Chance Moore, what I saw was a 38%. Obviously, Eagle staff, Huff, Millender, 44%. Just incredible. Just for an example, that's better than Eric Stevenson. That's better than Sean McNeil. That's better than Tash Sherman. That's better than, just name a guy that's played at West Virginia. That's a better 3-point percentage. The only person that shot it like that was Pittsnoggle. So Pittsnoggle was a 40% guy. So we would have 3 to possibly 4 guys on this team that shoot it at a Pittsnoggle level. Do you see where I'm going with this? Like it's an incredibly different style than what they had before. But not all these guys are just one-way players. Like Chance Moore is a good shooter. He's a great player, but he's more of a defender, than he is. I think he's a better defender than most anything. Marcus Millender, 5'11". Everybody looks at that. He can defend his ass off. That's one of the things he's known for. He's literally labeled. That's his label, hard-nosed defender. So let's get to the breakdown real quick as we roll through this. This is my transfer meter impact on these if we get them. Trayson Eagle staff is obviously a 6'6", absolute incredible offensive player with a 40-point performance in Alabama. He had 51 versus South Dakota State, 19 points a game in 33 starts at South Dakota or North Dakota, where he was their only guy. So it was a high volume, high usage guy. He's not going to get those kind of numbers that the Big 12 guys take about 3 or 4 points off of there probably, but it's still going to be that 40+% shooting. So I've got his scoring at a 15 out of 20. I've got his shooting efficient at a 12 out of 15. Defense is 6 out of 10. His intangibles are 10 out of 15. You know, and then I have a little bonus down here. Overall impact from a shooting perspective at the 3 specifically, and I gave him 5 points just for his 3-point sniperism. Sniperism is a word, I just made it. So for an overall 48 out of 50 is what I have. I think he's as close to 50 out of 50 as you can get. You know, he's, like I said, his field goal percentage is 41.6. 3-point percentage is over 40. 7 attempts a game. He's got 80% from the free throw line. So, you know, it's just all good, guys. And, he averages over a steal a game. So he does get into the lane and do things, but he's got an average body, right? He's 6'6", but he's small. He's 180. So they got to add 15 or 20 pounds to him if he can. They got to make him go to the weight room and meet Mike Joseph or whoever the basketball guy is. He's got some intangibles, man. He's hitting a couple game winners while he was there. So obviously the upside here is if he adds some muscle to his body and loses nothing, you got a potential Big 12 player of the year. You do. You got a guy that could do that. We saw a guy like Javon Small come in that averaged 15 at Oklahoma State, come to West Virginia where weight room matters, and that totally went up. By the way, one quick note on Darren DeVries is they don't lift weights in their program. I thought that was interesting. Marcus Millender, Houston native. Obviously, he transferred to from South Alabama to UTSA for last year. He's a true point guard with the pass-first mentality, the defensive tenacity. But, man, can he also score it? Over 42.3% from 3. And that the exact same percentage he had at South Alabama and UTSA. So 42.3 for both. Field goal percentage, 42% at South Alabama. An 85% free throw percent shooter. So he's an excellent 3-point shooter, but it was a little bit lower volume, by the way. So I've got his defense at an 8 out of 10. He's literally noted as a hard-nosed defender with steals. His defensive reputation is strong for his size. He's described as an extremely competitive guard with intense defensive motor with a knack for disrupting plays. He fits the mold of that pesky point of attack defender. He likes to guard, bigger wings so he can limit their versatility. He gets underneath them. So I've got him at a 9 out of 10 because that's really good for a point guard, but his size can detract from that. He has multiple years of eligibility. He's only a sophomore, guys. He will be here tomorrow, by the way, which I'll show you guys that. So he's a steady leader. I think he'll come in and run the point for West Virginia and probably Huff off the ball. And so I've got his transfer at a 44 out of 50. A couple points underneath Trace Eaglestaff, but that's fine. So let me get to it here. Let me find it. Let's see. Let's say to Traore, Duncan Powell, Cam Rice. Let's see. It must be. Oh, there it is. Okay. Let me. Where is that? All right. If I can get to it here, we'll do it. How do I make that smaller, though? I don't want everybody to see all that. All right, guys. So I'm going to share my screen with you as soon as I get a chance here to. All right, there we go. That's how we do that. Sorry about that, guys. All right, there we go. All right, so as we share screen here, I'm going to show you my conversation with Millender, which was, by the way, before everybody else reported it yesterday. Just want to point that out, just something small, but, I think once I did the video on it, other people reported it. But this was yesterday at 11:15 a.m. Go find an article on this before then. I'm not saying people didn't know that he was on the radar. I'm not saying people didn't know anything else outside of that. But, Obviously, I texted him on Monday originally. He didn't answer, and then I just added how sometimes you add an extra, like, sorry for bothering you in there, hoping they might see it. But he said, you are okay. I'll be visiting Monday, and then we have talked since then. So obviously that's cool. I'm glad to see that. He'll be here tomorrow, so we'll take it. And I think he'll be a obvious big time possible addition as well. Doesn't mean he'll commit or anything like that, guys, but hey, like we always say here, if we can get him to Morgantown, we got a shot at him. All right, guys, I got to roll. I went way over, but at the end of the day, we had so many people in here. We had fun. It's an Easter edition of the show. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for making Locked On West Virginia your first listen, guys. If you could do me a big favor, and this is a big one, check out the Portal Show. Brian Smith has the latest rumors, portal entries, and signings, and you can be the most informed fan on the rapid changes of college football and the landscape. Find the Portal on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcast, guys. Pretty cool guy, man. He's good at his job too, so make sure you check him out, guys. I'll do the same. Thank you for joining. Discord is in the chat if you want to know things like Millender. I knew that on Tuesday, right, of this past week when it's Sunday. So, obviously, if you want to know certain things that I know, and I don't know everything, but I do learn things. If you want to know them before everybody else, I share them in my Discord. Come in the Discord, hang out with us. You don't have to stay there all the time. You can come in and just read from time to time, whatever you want to do. All right, guys. Have a great Easter. Hope you had a great one. Hope you had time to spend with your family and maybe even search out some Easter eggs. And I'll see you on the next one. Have a great day, guys, and I'm out.